In this very random video, we will test two quality Rode mics for run and gun video with the Fujifilm X-T3. This is the Wireless Go, and it'll go up against this VideoMic Go. So let's go. This is the Rode VideoMic Go then, up close, no battery required, just plug and play. You get a frequency range of 100 Hz to 16 kilohertz, sensitivity of minus 35 dB. As you can see, we've got this nice integrated shock mounting system right here. It only weighs 73 grams. Their spec says a rugged reinforced ABS construction, windshield included. Whether or not you're a fan of having the massive logo on it, I'm not a fan of that, but whatever, it's included. There's the mini jack output on the back right there, and not a lot else. Of course, we've got an integrated cold shoe mount with a 3/8 thread, so everything is there, good to go. Now I've got to plug this into my T3 so I can show you the Wireless Go itself. The Wireless Go setup, obviously a lot smaller. Each piece, the transmitter and receiver, weighs 31 grams. They are USB-C chargeable, as you can just about see there. Now we have looked at these closer up in another video, which frankly took far too long to put out. And we've got a little windshield here, which isn't amazing, frankly. Cable, as with the other one. Frequency range, for what it's worth, 50 Hz to 20 kilohertz. These are omnidirectional. They work on a 2.4 gigahertz transmission. And, well, we've got the, 3.5 mil inputs and outputs. Clearly, there's some obvious differences, but how do they sound in the real world? Well, right now I'm using the VideoMic Go, and in the clip just before this, where you saw the VideoMic Go, I was using these bad boys. But let's do some very rough tests, for me, more than anything, and then we'll compare and contrast afterwards, as we used to say in school. For the purposes of the test with the VideoMic Go especially, well, only, I'm doing this at 4 feet, so we've got an accurate range, but of course I can move around as much as possible. This will be the first test, but it's not the first time I've done this, because I found I was getting a lot of problems with hissing noise, but we worked it out, so we'll mention it in the next scenario, basically, because I still want to check it back on this little clip. Now, of course, with the Wireless Go mic, as with the other mic, I can move around, but we have differences in range. But how's the sound? Anyway, this is going to be a bit of a, or even more of a rough and ready test, because I can already see the highlights getting blown and all the things going crazy, but it's all about the audio. So back to roughly 4 feet, and we're going to switch over to the VideoMic Go next. 4 foot away, the same background noise as we were working with. There's some car washing down there, random birds around there, bit of road noise from way in the distance, but not a lot else going on. Again, apologies for the image quality, it's going a bit wild. I do need an ND filter for this lens, a 67mm filter, and of course if I walk away now, it's not gonna quite be the same. I mean, I might still be able to get away with it. You can push it, but then you're going to bring in a lot more background noise. I could come closer, and of course we'll have to rely on the software to see how it helps us. Now we're testing the VideoMic Go in the car, so it's very quiet. I had some problems in my previous tests, which we're probably not going to bother showing you now, and it was all down to the Wireless Go, interestingly. Now I had it clipped to my camera, unplugged of course, because the Rode VideoMic Go was plugged in, but it was on, as was the other piece, was also on. I don't think that was the problem in the end. I'd turned off Bluetooth after my first test with the VideoMic Go with this mic, because it was driving me nuts, this hissing, and it was still happening. Now I've faffed about a bit more and actually switched off these units, the Rode Wireless Go units, and hopefully, if we're using this clip, it all sounds usable. Now, I am going to be limiting everything to 4, and I'm going to repeat that because I need to talk so we can test this. Let me now plug in this system and turn it on and do a comparison clip with the Wireless Mic Go setup. Now we're using the Wireless Go, same manual settings, which frankly is set up for the Wireless Go. I find I'll end up boosting it a little bit. Well, the limiter will bring up the VideoMic Go feed a little bit, but to all intents and purposes, well, I think, or I know that this should sound okay. Not necessarily from an audiophile point of view, but a quick run and gun, get it done, no messing about, other than the very quick noise something reduction and limiter that I do, which is very, very quick in Final Cut. You could frankly use the footage straight away on your cell phones or whatever. But yeah, happy with that. Indoor test, which is where I shoot quite a lot in different scenarios indoors, but basically indoors in the quiet. Looking up, monitoring seems absolutely fine. I'll admit the mic is slightly off. It's not right in the center because I've got my monitor on there and it was just easy to attach it to the side of the monitor. But to all intents and purposes, it's in range. I mean, I'm well within the 4 feet range, but I'm at a comfortable distance, as I would probably naturally come in a little bit closer. We're using the 18mm f2, by the way. Now, I just thought, just for a little bit of a change, it doesn't really affect the audio test at all, but it's time for me to switch on my Wireless Goes and just do a final little test with them. And then we'll have to talk about this properly, pros and cons, very quick summary if I can manage something very quick. But you've probably worked it out by now if you've got this far in these very rough tests. Anyway, one more test, hold on. The Wireless Go mic now, my mic of choice, but what do you reckon? I already know. And once I got past the teething problems with the hissing noise off the VideoMic Go, just as a reminder that we may or may not include, again, might put it in a summary. Anyway, switch off anything that could cause interference. Now, frankly, I haven't checked it in here yet, where there is a wireless router, modem, whatever, and I think that's all the signals that are going on in here right now. Well, basically, that's all there should be, Mr. Government. Yeah. Anyway, if you're seeing this, it was fine, or relatively fine. Yeah, let's crack on and summarize it. Let's just get this wrapped up. I reckon it's probably a good idea. VideoMic Go or the Wireless Go. Clearly, both mics have pros and cons. The VideoMic lets you just slap it on the camera and basically forget about it as long as you're within a range of about 1 to 3 meters. The Wireless Go, well, as long as you have a line of sight, you could probably go to a ridiculous 250 feet, but make sure that you're charged up and switched on. We're only allowed out once a day during quarantine, although this counts as my home, right? Anyway, I'm going to go for my, included in my once a day exercise is a little walk, roughly 200 feet down that road, which should give us the range that the Wireless Go can deal with. And I might pop that up later if I can get my words out. I am going to pretend I'm on the phone because, you know, otherwise I'll look like a complete lunatic. So anyway. Yeah. Can you hear me? Obviously, one of the good things about this is that you can use it at a very, very long range, which we might have just demonstrated. Frankly, I would never even go this far from the camera, but it's a clear major advantage. So I don't have to pretend I'm on the phone anymore. Even this is probably out of the range that the VideoMic Go would be if it wasn't currently behind glass in my car. So yeah, if I come this close up, might not even be the best picture ever. And pretend I'm on the phone again. Yes, hello, yes, no, he's absolutely making this all up off the top of his head. Yeah, not even a real phone call. Yeah, I know, crazy, but it proves a point, no? One problem with the Wireless Go mic is your feed will cut out, so your audio will not be even because it'll drop out every now and then. If you turn your back, if you lose line of sight between the units, it doesn't always happen, but it definitely gets worse as you get further away and other vehicles and other things get in your way. You have to watch out for that. And it has caught me out a couple of times when I was in New York filming, for example. I mean, I don't do stuff that often where I move around a lot, frankly. But it might be a consideration for you. If you're working in short distance, VideoMic Go might be easier, maybe, because then you can at least turn around. If you're demonstrating something, you need to turn around or whatever, you don't have to worry too much about line of sight. But the Wireless Go doesn't always fail, so your specific circumstance, your scenario might be fine, but it's something to think about. As with both, you'll use the monitor on your camera to make sure you're recording at the right levels, but clearly the video mic is the easier of the two, but arguably the wireless is more flexible and overall has a better sound, as it's effectively a lav mic closer to the source of the sound. Plus, you can use your own lav mic with it if you prefer. Now, evidently, I own the Wireless Go and I have been using it for a while on the channel now, and I guess I don't need the VideoMic Go, really, but I have used the VideoMic Go with the Fujifilm X-A7 vlogger kit that this particular one came with, and it definitely did a good job. The Wireless Go is around £150 and the VideoMic Go around £60, so for the beginner on a budget, the cheaper option is probably more sensible. I can see why the VideoMic Go and its bigger brothers are so popular, and really I could work with both, especially as range isn't an issue for me. But what do you think? I appreciate this was a very random rough test, but what's your experience with these mics? Subscribe, leave a comment below, and I'll see you soon.